I felt my way to the basement door, opened it cautiously, and stared into a dark abyss from which the horrible sounds came. Hello Ravens, welcome back to Daybound. I'm really happy to finally be back and to see you again. But I don't want to waffle around a lot. As we just seen a moment ago, our stranger friend makes a gruesome discovery in a basement today. But this basement doesn't even exist at the moment, so we have to prepare a lot for that to actually take place. Besides, I want to finally bring back Billy to his dad, Rabbit. And maybe we can kind of give back the favor and mess around in Rabbit's base a bit? I don't have an idea yet, but I think we can surely come up with something funny. What do you think? So despite the fact that it's raining again, without further ado, let's get rolling. Having so far been unable to convince the mason to carve me a mortar and pestle from the goat's horn, I spent the evening at the Kenny Kraken, as I had so often lately, getting drunk on lemonade. Rugber and I got along very well, and when the hubbub in the tavern slowly died down, he usually joined me. That evening was no exception. I told him about the task Sybil had given me and how strangely the stonemason had reacted to it. Rugber listened to me in silence, then nodded. A mortar and pestle made of goat horn was only needed for the most outlandish sorceries, so it was not surprising that Eric had reacted so defensively to my order. Besides, Eric had become more and more difficult since his brother Ben had disappeared a few months ago. Since then, there had been no sign of life from him, and Eric seemed more and more disturbed every day, and was rarely to be found in his workshop. Then I remembered my strange experience of the morning, when this monstrous being almost threw me off the mountain. I told Ragnar about it. Worried and driven, he got up and walked back and forth in front of the fireplace. Finally, Drakvar told me that the old hut on the mountain belonged to Eric's family, and that his brother had lived there for a long time as a hermit. Were Ben's disappearance and the monster on the mountain connected? Did Eric know what was living in the cabin? And why was Eric at home less and less often? Finally, Drakvar and I decided to pay another visit to the cabin together, as soon as the innkeeper could leave his inn in Aaron's hand for a few hours. I know already the perfect spot for the new house. I have been busy in between episodes and worked on this area here a little bit. I don't think I have shown that in last video, but maybe you've seen that already? I don't know. I'm sorry. It's been a while, so I'm actually not sure. I might have shown you some of this pathway here because we did this little walkway through the water here. But what I've added is this beautiful little waterfall that is coming out of the mountain and then going under this bridge down into the little fjord down there. I'm really in love with that. Let me show you from the other side. There you go. There it is. And I think it works pretty good. I'm not yet finished with decorating it all. I think on that side it's still missing something, I assume. But this is coming together very nicely and I love this little bridge up there. So obviously we now have a pathway to here. And I thought that is the perfect spot for a bakery. So this is what we're gonna build today. We have to clean up this area a bit because, yeah, I assume there's too much trees at the moment and some of the mountain has to go for the bakery. But after that, this will be perfect. Last episode, I started a new tradition too. Wait a minute, is that an ocean monument there in the background? Woohoo, it is! Awesome! I assume that must be Swarmy's new base. He said that he would rebuild an ocean monument. Oh! Hello, are you Bailey? Yes, there you are. Hello, Bailey. Awesome. Yeah, back to what I just said. I have started a new tradition on the channel, which means that I want to take some time in each video to thank you guys, girls, and non-binary pals out there for all your great support. It's just amazing. Even though I haven't posted for some weeks now, there's still a lot of support from you. Thank you once more from the bottom of my heart for that. We just saw Bailey. One of those up there. So today we name another LA. I want to come down to here. Hello. Maybe you guy up there. Hello. You're not named yet. So the viewer of the week is Martin. Martin has been there from the beginning. I don't know. He has commented so often on my videos. It's just unbelievable. So thank you, Martin, for being there, for being always helpful and a really good guy. And I really, really appreciate that you support me and my channel. Thanks a lot. With the new knowledge about Eric the Mason, I decided to make another attempt at commissioning my mortar and pestle the next morning. But even from a distance, Eric yelled at me to get out of there. But this time I remained stubborn and confronted him in his yard. He hissed at me whether enough people had not already been harmed or what else drove me to this insane witchcraft. He really talked himself into a rage and finally pushed me roughly off his property. He accused me of having all the adventurers, his brother, and the baker's husband on my conscience if I didn't abandon my diabolical plan. I should just disappear, since I had appeared one misfortune after the other had happened. Although I had expected resistance, I was quite surprised by Eric's outburst. A bit agitated, I made my way back to the Kenny Kraken. A lot of thoughts were running through my head, but one question kept coming to the fore in all this. What had Eric meant by saying that I had the baker's husband on my conscience? When I passed the herb witch's house, she was busy in her garden. She seemed to have been waiting for me and hypercritically asked me how it had gone. She had surely heard Eric shouting and could observe the scene well from up here, so I just stared at her silently in response. Finally, with a knowing and at the same time flippant smile around her lips, she said that it was about time to bring a few things to light, and that I would be well suited to help. She then turned around and disappeared into her house, unwilling to answer any of my questions, and it was clear to me that I would not get anything out of her, no matter how persistent I was. Oh my. Our stranger friend really has a hard time to get his mortar and pestle from Eric. Eric seems to really have some issues with those magic that you can do with the mortar and pestle made from goat horn, whatever. And Sybil is not really a help, right? She seems to have kind of a hidden agenda there, maybe? I don't know. Let's see how all of that turns out. While the stranger friend was fighting with Eric, I have been preparing this area. I've removed all the tree, I cleared out a bunch of stone and grass and dirt so that we have now enough space to build our bakery here. And for that, we used the material that I have gathered here in these 5 shulker boxes. Obviously, some basic building material. But then here, this is more what the bakery is made out of. And then we have some stuff for the interior and some stuff for the outside and more stuff for the interior too. And, well, a bunch of more or less special things that will make things look good. You will be so excited once you can see the build. I'm already very excited to show it to you because it's really, really cute and there's so much details in there that I really, really love. And obviously there must be a basement in there, so let's see how that turns out. But enough waffling around, I think. Let's get rolling and start building the bakery. The bakery is finished and I'm very excited to present you the result. Here it is in all of its glory. Isn't that a nice build? I really, really like it. How it snuggles up to the mountain. That is really, really cute. And I hear some guy. Oh, there he is. Been a while since I had the last one. Let's see what he has. Oh yeah, all the mini blocks. There needs to be done one last thing on the exterior of the building. For that I use this wonderful new block, an ochre frog light. This will look so good when it is night times. And a tsunami inside. There's nothing yet. That has to be the next step, but as you can see, there's a lot of room. I've this time put the staircase outside of the actual building because we had all of this mountain which we could use, and I think that is pretty helpful, to be honest. And down here, I made a big hole. This is where the actual baking is happening. There will be an oven around here, and obviously the basement. But no spoilers for now. Now it's time to bring you home, little Billy. Because Billy's dad, Rabbit, should be in bed right now. Because of different time zones, I am in the great position to be online when he should be not. But it's not the guarantee. Let's see how that works out. I'm prepared. I have already something in mind what we can do with his space. So let's grab Rabbit and off to the nether. Through the door. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Oh, that went much better as with your sisters. Transporting a single rabbit is much easier than doing so with the dozens of them. And now to the more tricky part. Oh, there's it. Woohoo. No, bunny. Bunny. Uh-oh. Rabbit. No. Oh, is that Billy? Ah, good. Good. But the problem is that this is the portal to the end. We don't want you to jump into there, so let's get around here. Come on. He has an LA head. What kind of guy is your dad? He killed an LA. So we are in a spaceship thingy, if I understood correct. What? There we go. Oh, just lost track of Billy. Thought it was gone. Oh my goodness. Where's a good place to put you? Okay. Guess what, Billy? We will stick you here for a moment, and I'll be searching for a place where I can leave you, okay? I'll be back in a second. Ooh! Ooh! Yeah! He told about that. Look at this! Here we are! This is so cool! Like a party! Oh, I love that! Oh my goodness, he had like a trophy room. Oh, that is cool. We might put the little rabbit here. Oh, look at this. Oh, wow, this is so cool. Okay, I will push you into there. That's not difficult. Just go into... Yes. Woohoo! Yay! Perfect, you are good. And now we will leave your dad a message. Hi, Dad. It's me, Billy. I'm back home. My dad, Aunt Raven, is so cool. Can I stay with Raven again? Dad, she killed all my stupid siblings. Yeah. Dad, are you subscribed to Raven's channel? Raven, let me watch all my favorite TV shows. Okay, I think we are done here. I've decorated this room with a lot of funny signs. Most of them showing that I'm not a good one to pick for looking after your kids. So I hope we don't ever get Billy back to watch after him because, well, I don't think he might survive that. Okay, Billy, you are home now. Here, help yourself to a drink. I think the party's still going and your dad might be back very soon and we'll tell you what to do then, okay? So, was fun with you. See you. Bye. Dragwar could not get free from work at the inn until a few days later, but eventually we were on our way together to the hermit's hut. We walked a more pleasant path than the one I had taken, and the innkeeper took the opportunity to show me a fantastic vantage point with a breathtaking view of the sea. He had always liked to come here in the past, but since this strange huge sphere had appeared above the water, he no longer felt so comfortable up here. Yes, the sphere was driving more adventurers into the area, and so far it was harmless. The village's scouting party had reported that it was completely empty. But Dragwa was concerned about the constant subtle changes he observed in the sphere. Later, as we approached the hut, we heard from afar the grunting and grumbling of the creature that dwelt within. I wanted to keep my distance, but Dragwa crept closer to take a look at the creature himself. It noticed him immediately. And only seconds after Dragwa had glanced through the window, he was flung back at me. Completely stunned, he struggled to his feet. What was this? Zombies, skeletons, monster spiders, even a giant orb. They were all used to all of that here, but this monster was definitely creepy and worrisome. Where did it come from? How had it gotten up here? And why didn't they just leave the cabin? On the way back, I told Rockmore about Eric's strange insinuations about the baker's husband. After a moment's thought, Darkwa said that lately the bread and rolls were often delivered in the morning just in time for breakfast. Margaret would otherwise always have been highly reliable and over-punctual, but he had suspected that her business, just like his, had increased significantly due to all the adventures, and therefore she just wasn't keeping up. Now that he thought about it, it occurred to the innkeeper that he hadn't seen her husband Walter in a while. He had often delivered the orders, but lately Margaret always did it herself. Oh wow, I'm glad that Rockwood didn't get hurt when he tried to get a glimpse of the warden up on the mountain. This is really dangerous. I hope they find a solution for the warden up there. Up to now, they don't even know that this is a warden. They just think it is a creepy, monstrous creature and don't know what to do with it, really. As we've seen earlier, the interior of the building is still missing, so this is what we are going to do next, that we finally can find out what will happen in the basement of the bakery. This means I will add in a shop where they can sell all their breads and rolls and stuff. And on the top level, there will be the living quarters for the baker and her husband. And over here, as we said, there will be the actual bakery, and we will have a storage area and the basement. So a lot of things to do and to decorate. Let's get rolling. The next morning, as I sat at breakfast, Ragnar told me that the special order of 20 glowberry pastries had not been delivered, and he urgently needed them by the afternoon. Since there was no change in the situation with Eric, I decided to take this opportunity to do some research on the bakery's husband. So I offered to pick up the pastries for the innkeeper, which he gratefully accepted. The bakery was a pretty building at the end of the small fjord of Anglos West. The walk there across the little wooden bridge was lovely, and I enjoyed the morning sunshine. The store was bustling, and it took a while until it was my turn. But the salesman knew nothing about the order and referred me to his boss. I should go to the bakery. Pleased to be able to snoop around a bit inconspicuously, I slowly walked toward the bakery, probing my surroundings. It all looked a bit chaotic, and those dark spots under the flour looked suspiciously like the blue-green stuff from the Spider-Mother's lair. But by then, the baker had spotted me and asked, visibly stressed, what I wanted back here. After I explained that I was here to pick up the 20 glowberry pastries for Dragvar from the Kenny Kraken, she apologized 1,000 times. She had definitely baked them. They had to be here somewhere. Practically, she began to run back and forth between the boxes looking for the pastries. They were in a small package addressed to Dragvar, she said. I quickly found the box, but I was speechless when I saw the basement stairs. It was almost completely covered with these wines. When the baker saw me, she quickly pulled me away from the door. She gave me another box of breads and rolls as compensation and let me outside. She told me to greet Dragvar warmly and to tell him that she would make sure that the orders would be delivered properly again in future. As you have just seen in the little cutscene, the bakery interior is done. And while you have seen a bit of it when the stranger visits the bakery, let's have a closer look on some of the details because there's so much in it that I really love. When you come to the bakery, you have to stand in the line because it's very famous for all of his baked goods. So Mr. Blaze here is waiting and is very impatient that it's his turn. But daddy villager here is just buying some bread there, but his little daughter saw the cake and says, "Daddy, give me the cake, please." And Mr. Illager is getting some coffee before he is going on tour with his other pillager friends to frighten some Minecraft players. Now, if we go through that door, let's first go up, I think. We come into this little corridor here where you can get off your shoes and hang up your cloth. And then when you come in, then you have the little living kitchen with some sofa and even an oven here. This is very cute and cozy where the baker and her husband is living. And through this door you get into the bedroom with a big wardrobe. I can't decide which one of these houses I love the most. So then let's get back down onto the other side. This is the actual bakery. Here are some cauldrons where you can make the dough in there, and then you prepare the things on here and put them then onto the baking trays. As you can see, there's a bunch of rolls already waiting for to be put into the oven, and you have these big bakery shovels. I don't know what the term for that is. Even in my language, I have no idea. And as you can see, there's already some bread in there that's still baking. And some other bread is waiting here on the shelves to be cool enough to get brought over to the shop. We have here some flour, and of course, flour is spilled all over the way. And this is what stranger spotted. There's something going on with this house. And then in here we only have some storage. Of course, all the goods have to be stored somewhere. Everything that is prepared has to be packaged and stored until for delivery. And yeah, this here is a strange spot, but no spoiler for now. You will see that in a second. For the time being, I didn't tell Dragvar about the suspicious clues in the bakery. The party for which he needed the glowberry pastries took him completely, and he had no time for a break, nor did I want to worry him further with my news. Instead, I waited until evening to return to the bakery once again. When all the lights in the house were shut off, I crept inside. I didn't dare turn on any lights, so I picked my way in the dark to the basement stairs. But even on the way there, I heard a grunting and grumbling that sounded familiar. With all the noise in the store and in the bakery in the morning, I had not noticed it at all. But now it was clearly audible. I felt my way to the basement door, opened it cautiously, and stared into a dark abyss from which the horrible sounds came. Slowly I descended, but finally it became so dark that I lit my torch. And then I saw him, huge, monstrous, without eyes, and with the strange pulsating in the open belly. Suddenly I heard footsteps at the top of the stairs and quickly extinguished the torch. Then the shaky voice of the baker. "Walter? What is it? Go to sleep for heaven's sake. I'll bring you as many cocoa rolls as you want first thing in the morning. Please be quiet." Oh my goodness, what an exciting episode that was. And as in the beginning, it's raining again. I don't know what this is. We now know there is a warden down below in the cellar of the bakery, and it seems like as if it is the husband of the baker. So how did that happen, and what is this all about? And is this the same warden as the one up there on the mountain, or is that a different one? So a lot of open questions and a lot of things to play with in one of the next episodes. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I have enjoyed making it a lot. It was a lot of fun to design the bakery and build it and make all the interior stuff, and as well do all the cutscenes and the story and the lore about the bakery. So if you enjoy watching this kind of video, leave a like and make sure to watch the next one. Until then, thanks for watching.